They say the kitchen is the heart of the home, and I can say I have had the most fun planning for and designing our kitchen renovation. This week we are bringing in all the warmth, from DIY faux beams to custom designed boxed in windows that I planned for over a year ago. Let's just hope I can figure out how to put all of the elements together. Hello guys, welcome back. We are back inside this week. It is raining on and off. It's not raining today, but it is raining on and off like every other day. It's keeping the ground outside really wet, but we've made some major progress on exterior renovations. You obviously saw over the last couple of weeks, we've done the porch decking. We got all that laid down, so we actually aren't falling through the patio. We're not walking on plywood anymore, so that was a major step in the right direction. We also finished our DIY fence, our iron fence that goes along the front of the property. My dad actually welded this fence for us, saved us a lot of money on the budget. We are taking a pause from all of those projects outside to move back inside, back into the kitchen, because these two projects we're doing simultaneously. There are a lot of projects to do in the kitchen, but we've made some progress. We DIY'd all of our cabinets. We don't have cabinet doors yet. That's gonna be a project we're gonna be working on soon, but we do have the cabinet boxes. We got them all installed. I DIY'd our island. These were the old porch posts that used to be on the porch. We got our countertops. We got our refrigerator and dishwasher delivered. And our range oven is here. It's arrived. It's not here in the house, but it has arrived. Just got word that they're gonna be scheduling delivery. So this week I wanna work on bringing in the rich toned wood of the kitchen. Basically, I want to pull the rich toned wood from the living room that was original to the house, which was one of the elements that I fell in love with this house because of this rich toned wood. I wanna pull that same color into the kitchen. We need to bring that warmth back in. We need to tie the two spaces in together. And I thought of 3 different spots in the kitchen to incorporate rich toned wood into. One is the window boxes on each side of the oven. The second spot will be incorporating wooden beams into this space. Up on the ceiling where the old walls for the bathroom were, I kept them. I was like, don't change it. I wanted the original beadboard in here. We had to put beadboard in the dining room area to match. So I just had them leave the 2x4s that were up there from the walls when we were kind of doing structural things. I was going to attach some wooden beams to it. It was kind of a fix too, because there used to be 2 walls there. There's a natural kind of divide in the beadboard. So we have to kind of cover that up and make it look like it was on purpose. And the third spot is the little spice rack on the side of the island that we did. It could be a spice rack, it could be just decorative. It's a pretty spot that you look from the dining room into. So I utilized that extra space when DIYing our island. First things first, we have to finish painting. Last time we were working on the kitchen, we ran out of paint. And the walls in here are gray mist, which is the same accent color we did on the exterior. The walls in the dining room are also gray mist. So we got to right about here and ran out of paint. We painted on that side, and that's it. That's as far as we got. So we've got to paint up above the entryway here from the living room, down on this side, this wall, and then kind of portions of this wall over here because we're gonna have upper cabinetry. We're also gonna paint the rest of the wainscoting in pashmina and then get started on the windows. Since every opening, around every window, around every door is so heavily trimmed in the house, I've gone back and forth a lot about whether I was gonna trim this opening, and I just have to. It would be the only thing that wouldn't be trimmed. We're gonna do the same as the windows. There's gonna be rosettes in the corner, plinths at the bottom, and then casings at the sides and along the top. So a little tip for you on filling the holes, like the pinholes that hold up trim. I just filled all these holes. What I found doing this house is caulk is great for the seams and like long, straight strips But filling the pinholes, it doesn't really work. There's still like a concave to it, and it's almost like you have to do it multiple times. What I found works better is actually wood filler. It's just one that we use whether we're staining or we're painting, and it works really well. It looks and acts like real wood. Okay, boxed windows. Have I ever done a boxed window? No. I've built a lot of stuff, so I'm thinking I can accomplish this. How our windows work, there's actually a windowsill that sits on top of this platform, and it holds the window in. It comes straight out. Well, on the other windows, it's just little, you know, it's just kind of like sealed, like a little sill for the window. And this design, I'm thinking that the windowsill will actually be, you know, all the way out here. So it's just gonna be a really deep windowsill to create this look that I want. First, I gotta figure out how high we need to build this up. You know, you use what you can. Okay, that is even. I need to build it up 3 1/4. How do I do that? I'm gonna do this part first. To be the top, we'll create like a new flat surface, right? So now we just need to know what we need to build up. 1 3/4. Now I have 1 3/4 inch little blocks, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do 1 on each side, nail it into the side, and then like that, and then like that, and it's level. Woo! Made a little platform. So the original idea for these box windows came from the entrance to the right room when we bought the house. It was like boxed in with this rich beadboard that I saved specifically for this project. And it just kind of encased this opening, and on each side of the Y that was there is on each side there were closets. So they finished out this entryway. I wanted to recreate that in some way, even though we weren't keeping that particular wall. And then I saw an inspiration picture of Serena Go's kitchen, and she had box windows in her like brownstone in New York. And I was like, that's the perfect place to put this kind of look and bring that back from the original house and use the salvage materials for these boxed windows. The kitchen has so many elements, so keeping a mood board or all of my inspiration pictures in one place, really readily accessible, has been like so important. So I've been keeping all of the information for our kitchen, all the inspiration photos, dimensions, sketches, everything in a board on Milanote. And a big thank you to Milanote for sponsoring today's video. I love Milanote. It's a completely free app that you can have on your phone, on your laptop. You can access it online. I use it for all of the projects in the house. I use it for like work, for collaborating with other people. Like I share things with my mom and all sorts of stuff. Any project that I'm starting to work on, I always have a board on Milanote. So this is like my homepage on Milanote, and I have it all organized. You know, I have all of my like work, brand stuff, MaCenna stuff, and I have like design projects I'm working on for other people, different rooms that I've been working on. If you haven't caught the latest vlog, I worked on all of the fall mood boards. I was kind of going with a theme. Then for the kitchen design, this is the original plan. And I kept everything from the floor plan. I have, oh, this was when we were building the pantry, so I could access it on my phone if I was at the hardware store. I've got the cabinetry design when we started working on that. I've even got my hood thing, the inspiration for the hood. I'll drag that in here. Overall inspiration for like when I was looking for granite. And here are our lights that we need to install. We'll install those next episode. On Milanote, you can have boards within boards to keep everything like really organized. Here's next steps of things that I needed to do. You can make to-do lists. So of course we'll use all of our materials and our details, but this is kind of a visual of what I want those box windows to look like. This is the living room mood board. You can clearly tell I love to create mood boards. One of the things that I love most is that you can install the Milanote Chrome extension. So when you're on, let's say I'm on Pinterest and I want to save this on Milanote. If I just scroll over the picture in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the little Milanote logo and save. Click that on the right-hand side, it will pop up with a pop-up screen, and I can click the board that I want to save it to on Milanote, and which is living room, and I click save to living room. And then when I go back to Milanote, you can see that there's going to be an unsorted row or column on the right hand side, and then I can drag it over and place it anywhere I want to in the mood board, and so I already have it here. So whether you want to create a mood board for an upcoming project or you want to use it for scheduling and keeping yourself on track, the easiest way to do this that I found is create a new board by dragging it onto your home screen, and you can select from one of Milanote's templates, and they help kickstart your creative juices so you can just start putting your ideas into the board. So if you guys have not already signed up for Milanote, I know you're gonna love it for your upcoming projects to keep everything organized. So I will leave a link in the description box so you can tap and check it out and sign up. Also get the app for your phone because I like having it accessible for me when I'm out and about shopping and I need to reference something, so it's really, really handy. What my brain has come up with that we're doing is we're framing in the right size window frame. This needs to sandwich up right against the edge of the windows. I'm using a lot of scrap material, which is great. That's why I save all my scrap wood, but I think it's gonna work.
If I ask you, don't hold back on me. Only better if you set it free.
Okay, it's time to make the windowsill. So this one's pretty similar to what I've done for the other windows, but it's a lot deeper because we're actually making like a shelf sill. Shelf sill. So I wanted a little better quality wood. So I actually got this 12-inch, which is actually 11.5 inches in poplar, and I just felt like it was gonna stain better. I don't know. Like I'm like, this is like a really special project. So I got this. This is like $6 a foot, a linear foot. And so what I like to do is I like to actually draw my cuts because they're kind of shaped like a upside down t-shirt, if that makes sense. Like you have your sleeves and then you have the body of the shirt. I'm gonna draw them.
Rising on the wall.
I'm really trying to build a better habit to wear my safety equipment. I've been getting too lazy with it, I know, and it's not good. I think nothing's gonna happen, and nothing has happened, but what if something does? So I'm trying. Okay, I'm gonna use a jigsaw to cut these kind of like L pieces out, these squares out, and then we'll kind of add some shape to the edge so it's not so harsh like wood. We're just gonna use a sander for that. I guess my analogy or my descriptive of it's like a t-shirt, if you had really, really, really tiny skinny arms for your sleeves, if that makes any sense. So basically this part is the front. And so I don't want this harsh kind of edge here. You see how it just kind of looks like a piece of wood? So on the other ones in the house, I just kind of rounded the edges, brought this back at an angle a little bit, and I just did that with a sander. I didn't want anything harsh. I just wanted to take off the harshness. So I'm just gonna use 220 grit. It's not heavy at all. Well, I guess I could start a little heavier. Let's start with a 60 and then take actually some of that edge off, and then we'll smooth it out. And then you hope it fits, you know. That's always to do all that work. Oh.
Everyone's got different story about the way of life. To ever see the glory of your inner strife. If I can't stand.
Wow, Kinsley, wow! We did one! Okay guys, welcome to my probably 5th nighttime stain science experiment. So I have tried and mixed and experimented with all different types of stains, from oil-based, water-based, and now gel. I've mixed colors. I keep trying to match the old wood, and obviously it's aged. It's been aging for 100 years. I'm trying to get as close as possible. I think I found kind of a good combination. I started with gunstock, and then I was like, it's still, it has the good undertone, but it's still not pretty. So I tried this mahogany gel stain over the top of it, and this is what we're getting. And I think it's pretty close. This is gunstock with mahogany on top and a gel stain, and that looks pretty close to ours. It's a little lighter, but I think I can build on it. God, you see how light it is? It's crazy. And I've tried conditioning. I've tried. You guys, I've tried. It just is what it is. Look how thick the gel stain is. That's kind of wild. We're gonna do this in sections because I don't know if it'll change like as it dries, you know what I mean? To me, it's close, but it has a little bit of that like purple mahogany in it. I'm gonna just touch a little bit of gunstock on top of this now. So like a layer of gunstock, a layer of the mahogany gel stain, and then a layer of gunstock. And see if it brings, ooh. Okay, well, that might do it. So late last night when I was actually creating this like mystery stain to get it somewhat close to ours. I didn't know waking up like how it would look. I'm like, what's it gonna change when it dries, and like, is it gonna look as good? And it was like 2 a.m. and I was like working on this, and then waking up this morning, I think that you guys, I think that this is about as close as I'm gonna get. It is beautiful, but I think it's gonna look even better when we wait about a week while this really, really dries and put a sealer on it. Because what the old one does have is a luster to it. Well, I'm not gonna get that luster with just stain alone. I'm gonna have to put a layer of sealer on top. So we could do like a satin finish and have it be the same kind of like sheen, and it's gonna help it further make it match. But it's stunning. Let's put something in it. I could just put pretty things on it. I've been kind of doing the math on the beams. It's like, what are we gonna need? How big are they going to be? How big are they gonna feel? I don't know. We measured, and we know that it's 14.5 foot from wall to wall. So that's how long we need the beams to end up being. I couldn't imagine it, so I made a sample. So it would end up being a 5-inch to fit perfectly, 5 1/4 to give a little bit of breathing room. This is essentially, not this side, I cut it too short. But that's essentially how, with this board, that's essentially how the beam would look up there. I was worried about it looking too small or being too, I don't know, too small. And I thought it needed to be bigger because our ceilings are so high, they're 12 foot. But it looks really good. I think it's gonna be good in a good proportion. Okay, so we're ready to build the faux beams. I have watched a lot of tutorials on people that have made them, and even in my head, it's relatively simple. They're faux beams, so essentially we're creating like a U shape. I've thought about how I wanted to construct them and actually like put the two sides to the bottom of the beam together. And I was like, okay, we could do pocket holes, but these are not structural in any way. And so it's not like the cabinets where they need they need to hold weight, like you're gonna be touching them or moving them around. So I was like, I don't really need that. I can use my brad nailer with long nails, just like we did for the boxed windows. And we could just use those and put them together. The easiest way to do beams is just to use boards like this, straight edge on the side, and literally just put them together. Put it like that, nail in. You could totally do that. But I want to take it one step further and make them look like they're real beams. And if they were real beams, they would have one straight edge. They wouldn't have this extra seam here. So what I'm gonna do, of course I'm gonna take an extra step, and I'm gonna miter all the sides. And so that when the joint comes together, it's one joint and you don't see this extra seam here. I feel like I'm gonna be happier about that, even though it's 12 foot in the air. And I think it's gonna be good. I'm gonna miter all of the edges at a 45-degree angle, except for the side that's going to go up to the ceiling. So the bottom will get miter edges on each side, and then the sides will only get one side that's mitered. So when they join together, they're perfect, but at the top it's flush with the ceiling. And then we are going to beat them to their death. We're gonna take about every tool that we have and just start hammering and wailing on them. I really want these beams to look rustic, but not like so rustic that they look almost like ranch style, but I do want them to look like beams. And our house is 100 years old, so we might as well look like they've been through some things over the last 100 years. Now I'm gonna use the exact same combination of stain that we did on the windows so that all of that looks really consistent together. So I'm gonna put a layer of gunstock oil-based stain down first, and then I'm gonna come back over the top of it with the mahogany gel stain. And then if I have enough gunstock, I'm gonna go back over it again. Now it's just a matter of matching up the edges and assembling them together with my brad nailer. I'm gonna put a lot of nails, just so that it's really, really secure and it's not gonna fall. The U-shaped beam itself is going to be really structurally sound. And then we're gonna attempt to hang them. Let's give it a shot.
Ready? Can you hold it? I'll grab like a leveler and I'll hold it right here. Something like this.
It's like not heavy, but it's not light. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, come on now, gun, you can do it. I did not do last time. No, why? I'm sorry. Did it roll? Yeah. Last night and this morning, I actually finished the other window. So it was the same process. I just had to duplicate it so that both windows obviously are boxed and they match. And they look so good, you guys. The transformation of where we've come from this being an old bathroom to now being what it is just, it's mind-blowing to me that we're making so much progress. So here is a before and after.
Hummingbird, I hear you calling. Teach me how you fly so free.
You guys, this warmth is everything. This is finally starting to tie in the living room to this space and just using the materials in a different way. Instead of the wainscoting in here being wood, it's painted, but we brought in the warmth with the beams and the windows. And then I'll do this next episode in the kitchen. I'll work on this little thing. That was a lot to accomplish. There's still some things that I want to perfect on the beams themselves. I would say, if I had to give any advice on this, I would say if you can get away with just doing one beam, so it's a continuous beam the whole width. So if I could have done a 14-foot beam, I would have, just to eliminate the seam and all the work that kind of goes into making it match. I have still some work to do on the seams themselves, but overall, I love that it camouflages the old wall that was there and the break in the beadboard. I love that it brings some warmth up on the top and it gives interest to the ceiling, so they're perfection. Also, that whole other side of the kitchen over there by the coffee bar and the back door needs to be painted. The ceiling is not painted over there. So that's the original color that it was. And we need to put our lights in. There's so much on the ceiling that I still want to do. So we got the beams to the point where I'm like, they look good. We'll perfect them in the next stage. And then the windows are just everything, you guys. If you can see the beams that just feed into the windows and it just draws your eye into them. Ugh. I love warm. It's looking so good. I spent a lot of time making sure that these windows were in the right place and the beams hit them in the right place, and we got as close as we could with what we were working with in this old house, but they are looking excellent. So if you can imagine the oven here in the center and the hood, range hood right above here going all the way up, that's the hole so that we can vent out the hood. And so it'll just come down right in the center and be beautiful. Upper cabinets over here on my right, upper cabinets over here on the left. In the next episode, we are gonna be working on all of the upper cabinetry and also doing this little spice rack with the wood. I wanna complete the kind of warmth that we're bringing in here. So we're gonna do upper cabinetry and continue making progress on the kitchen for sure. So if you guys have missed any of the other episodes in the kitchen series, I will leave it linked below. I have it all in a playlist for you so you can catch up. I believe if I had to count, I believe there are about 4 more episodes, 3 more episodes, 3 to 4 more episodes in the kitchen, and the kitchen is complete. We are not stopping this project until it's complete. So we have upper cabinetry, we have cabinet doors and drawers. We have DIYing our range hood and getting our oven range, and then also decorating, because we can't forget about that. And then also the crown molding. You guys, once the crown molding is up there too, we need all of that up, and then we'll do the crown molding last. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of renovating our kitchen. I will see you guys again on Sunday for another renovation video. And don't forget, I do have another channel, my vlog channel, which you guys get behind the scenes, shopping for materials, a look inside how I plan all of these projects and how I accomplish them, even though I've pretty much never done any of this before. I've never built box windows before, but now I can check that off of my list of things that I have done. So I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye, guys. It's a rush. You know, you gotta, like, you're holding it. We don't have the point blank, we don't have the upper body strength that men do, right? So we have to be smart. We have a roller, a paint roller, and willpower.